Welcome back to Advanced Excel session with Preeti. This is in continuation with session wherein I had introduced pivot tables. We shall now be exploring more pivot options. In this session, I will be majorly showing you all few views, different views that you all can create in pivot, and we will explore the design tab, which gets enabled only when you have a pivot table. So in case you click somewhere out, those options, those tabs disappear. It's only when you're inside the pivot area that's when you get this tab. So to start with, let's see how the designing part of pivot table work. How can you beautifully present your data? So you just have to be in your pivot area and you get this design tab. You can just format your table. If you don't want any formatting, you want to keep it like plain, this is the plain formatting. Or if you want just subtle colors, subtle borders, you can do that. So the difference is these are some light formatting, this is a bit medium formatting. So if you see, and then these are some dark formatting wherein the entire background would be formatted. So it depends upon your target audience and your requirement, how you would want to to present your data. I would keep it limited to probably light or medium. Okay, so let's say we want to create a little bigger pivot table now to give a more deeper view. Let's say I want to create category and subcategory wise. Let me just clear all this. You can either clear it by removing the column fields one by one, or you go to analyze and you can say clear all. So it removes everything and it gets you back to where it was at the beginning. So you're starting from scratch in that way. Now let's create a new view. I want to see all the categories that I have. So the major categories I have is furniture, office supplies, technology, and I want to see what are the products that is being sold under each of these categories. And as I know the subcategories are huge, I will not do the mistake of putting it in columns, because if you see, that becomes an extremely huge data and I have to scroll sideways, which is a bit difficult. It's always better to scroll downwards than to scroll sideways, right? So it's advisable, if there are many values in a particular column, it's better you keep it in your rows. As I mentioned earlier, you need to know your data well for this. So for example, let me just get the quantity. I want to see what is the number of quantities I've sold for each of these products and subcategories. So if you see, you get a very quick overview over here, wherein we understand that furniture, this is the overall for all the dates. Okay, so we've not put any filter on a date, so it's a huge number, but you can quickly get an overview of in furniture we have around 8,000 quantities sold. Let's say you want further values also, like the number of quantities or the number of sales or the profit. All of those columns which you have over here, you can go on adding up and create a more holistic view. Let me just add sales, and let's say the discount, and as I said, by default the addition would happen, the sum function would be applied. Let's say I want to change the function. I want to know the number of resources. So for example, instead of sum of the quantity, I want the count. So you just have to come over here and do value field settings. You get the default function. So as I said, majorly it's count and sum that goes, but you can also perform average functions like average, max, min, product. So these are some of the other options you can get to choose from. Okay, let me say if I select count over here, so it will give me the count of how many entries are there basically. So if you just see, it will be the total number of rows that I had. Okay, but that would ideally not be a right picture for quantity. So quantity, sum is only the good feature, option. You would use count basically for something like number of customers you've targeted. So here you can give, okay, the number of customers that we've targeted is 9,000, and the number of quantity we have sold is 37,000. This is the number of sales, this is the discount we've given, the profit we have. All of that can be just shown in together. Let us keep it limited to 3 columns as of now. Now if you notice, the headings are quite huge here. You can customize the headings as per your requirement. So let's say I want to keep it something like number of customers, so you can just update it as per your requirement. Number of customers, I'll press enter. Just ensure that whatever heading you're writing is not an existing heading. So there is nothing called as number of customers in these headings, so it will allow you to write. But if I write some existing heading, like if I just write sales, it will not let me use that word. So if I say sales, it will tell me this name already exists. But let's say for some reason you would still want to use this word, you can just add a space, okay, because space is a character in Excel. So, and that has to also be taken care in some cases. So let's say if you were using some formula and you were trying to match a word, and if you had space in that word, then Excel considers it as a different text. So that we will see when we are understanding formulas and all. Now let's keep it limited to pivot, and let's say I want to just name over here something like quantity. Let's keep it quantity only, or let's say total quantity, whatever, total quantity, total sales, however you would want to name it as, whatever suits your audience and your presentation. So now I've created a bigger view as compared to my earlier pivot, and I want to just explore some of the design options which is there. So we've gone through this is just formatting. Now there is something called as banded rows, banded columns. This is purely formatting, and you can understand this better actually in light formatting. So banded rows is nothing but alternate rows would be colored. Okay, so if I just deselect this is how it looks, and if I select it, this is how it looks. So again, it's completely based on your requirement. These are some default options available in pivot. And banded columns is the same thing, alternate columns would be colored. You also have row headers and column headers. So it's just the formatting for it. Okay, so if you see the borders coming and going, let me take a different formatting so that you understand what is happening exactly. So if you see, when I deselect column headers or select it, accordingly the formatting changes. And row headers, wherever there was a row. So by default these are selected. In case for some reason you don't want to keep too many colors, or you can just deselect it, or you can simply take a simple formatting. It's completely on your requirement. Another I don't know if I should say it as a limitation or a plus point, you cannot directly edit this chart area. So for example, if I want to add a row or a column, I can't do that. Okay, if I try adding, it will give me an error saying you cannot add data. So let's say I just do add. It says we cannot make this change in the selected area because it will affect the pivot. You have to completely operate out of the options given in design tab, analyze tab, and the fields. Okay, otherwise manual changes you can't do much. Like for example, I can't change the data here because that is a summary coming from a different source. Okay, so I can't really change values. Headings you can still change because headings are considered more like a label. So something you would call as bookcase, let's say, just for the space constraints, you can just name it as cases, whatever your customer would understand it better as. So headings you still have the flexibility, but not on the numbers, because if you play around or manipulate with the numbers, then we are giving a wrong picture, and that's not right. So headings can be changed. Let's say you still want to create some separate groups, like this is one group and you want to separate it out, you want a blank row after each of these groups, you have an option for it. You go to design tab and you go to this option blank rows, insert blank line after each item. So item is this entire group, okay, this entire section here in rows, that becomes one item. So you get a blank row after each item. So if you just notice, I have a blank row after each section. Let me just scroll down to show you till the end. Okay, just to declutter a bit. At any point in time you realize you don't want these blank rows, you can just come over here and remove it. Nothing can be done manual. As I said, you cannot insert or delete any row manually. The next is report layout. Report layout, it's how you want to show this table. So for example, now what we are seeing is actually a compact form. So if I select it, there is no change that is going to happen. Compact form is, there are two headings that I have taken. I have taken category and subcategory, but if you notice, both of them are in the same column. So that's a compact way wherein it is compressing this entire view in the number of columns. So it's trying to reduce the number of columns as much as possible. If I take a outline form, this is how it will come. So what it is done is, it kept category in one column, it kept the subcategory in one column, and this remains the same. There is no option of compressing numbers as such, but it plays around a bit with the headings. Okay, so this is an outline form wherein you have separated out it in this way. Let me show you the last one. Tabular form. What happened in a tabular form is, in an outline form it had a separate row for this heading. In a tabular form, it again reduced the number of additional spaces. So for example, if you saw in outline form, you had an extra row for the subtotal, and then you had the products, the subcategories. But in a table form, you get it in a compressed way, and it's like one, at once. There is not much difference between a tabular form and a compact form. One option, there is one additional option that you can use in an outline form is, in a tabular form, ideally the subtotal would come down, but at any point you would want to show the subtotal on top. That's when you would use an outline form. So here you have this option, which normally works on outline form. So if you want to show the subtotal at the bottom or at the top, so now it is on top. Let me select bottom. So this is how it will come in the bottom. So if you notice, in tabular form, what it did is, this entire section had come on top. So it actually saved one row. That is the whole idea about. I usually prefer most of my data in tabular form because it takes less space and it shows the same information rather than just taking up more space in my sheet. Again, it's a personal preference, and as per your audience, you have to select how you would want to present your data. At any point you do not want to show these subtotals. Let's say you just want to give the grand total, you do not want any subcategories or category summaries. You can come over here and deselect all the subtotals, so you just get a quick smaller table. You want to add a subtotal for one particular column, you can just specifically come there. Usually a subtotal would happen on a bigger group, so like if you had two groups here, it will go on the previous one. If I had one more group, then probably I could have done over here. So let me just do it over here. Okay, you can right click and do. Let me add something. Let's say I add product name also, just to increase the number of groups. And now if I do subtotal subcategory, I had already done, if you noticed here, I should have got a total. Okay, now it's a very huge data because the number of products are huge. So if you see, there is a subtotal for category also, subcategory also. So you have a subtotal for category, you have a subtotal for the subcategory. So as and when you increase the number of fields in your rows, these subtotals will go on adding up. Let me remove this so that we have a small data and we can understand how the options are working. So this was about subtotals. These are the grand totals. By default, if you've noticed, there are some grand totals which is coming over here, row wise, column wise. Let me just remove everything off for rows and columns. So it was there at the end. Okay, if you've noticed earlier, there was a subtotal at grand total at the end. In case I want to get it back, you can say at once on for rows and columns. Now in some scenarios it may not support the column, so here it's actually not supporting the column. If you specifically want to add only for rows, only for columns, you can do that. The filter options, sorting options, all of it you can do as you would normally do on your base data. So you have these filter options, you can search, you can filter on values, labels, all of that can be performed like you would work on a normal base data. So this was all about the design tab and how to create different views from a presentation point of view. There are few more options which is in the analyze tab, and you can also create custom columns. So for example, you can create a custom calculation which will be applicable just in this pivot view. So we will explore that in our next session. Thank you so much as of now. In case you have any queries in any of the topics that I have taught, or in case you would want me to add any topic, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much, guys.